Hey guys, Colin here. Today is the fourth day of the Dungeoneering series from oval to end. I'm starting to like the sound of that phrase. It kind of rolls off the tongue nicely. Before this floor even starts, I look to my right and see a bunch of cash sitting on the ground. I'm not sure who's doing the drop party, how much is being dropped, or what's going on, but as you can see, I've already overloaded. So I'm just waiting for the floor to start, hoping that somebody might take a minute too long so I can snag a pile of cash. Obviously didn't get anything there. Um, after the floor finished, I managed to go back and the drop party was still going on. So I don't know if he dropped the large stacks of cash already and then was just trolling at the end because I picked one up and I only got 10k from it, which was slightly disappointing. I was really happy with the start to this floor. I got just enough cash off the table and managed to not miss. I felt that that was a pretty good, like I didn't miss any clicks between buying my stuff from the smuggler and making my runes. So once again, if you guys haven't noticed, the general starting trend is to buy one vial and then about 10 feathers just in case you run into a pond skipper door or a ferret door where you have to catch fish and then cook them. The general rule of thumb for this door, actually this is an important one, you guys should know this. See how there's the nook in the wall there? You always go from left to right when you release the spikes. You never investigate them. You always just go from right to left and you just take the HP damage. I know I didn't start from right to left because I saw 3 people run to the same square, so I thought I'd start on the right, which is the uncommon thing to do. But when you call it out, you don't have to drop items, which was common on World 77. All you do is you say from left to right what number of spike it is the safe one. So the combination for that one was 414. So the fourth from the left, and then the first from the left, and then the fourth from the left. We end up coming to a GD, and I asked for the hexer to kill the mage. Turns out you're not supposed to hex skeleton mages. I think I remember hearing this at one point, but it just didn't click in my brain. I was taking magic damage, and the last couple of times I've been dungeoning, almost in every floor, at least one person will have a hex now, which is great. I'm really excited to run into a merc box, but I haven't run into one yet. But they always get upset because they tell me not to attack the mages first, whereas if there's no hex in the floor, the first thing you want to attack is the mages. In day 3, I said that I started talking about killing order and totally neglected it, got on a tangent, and didn't talk about it. So I'll talk about it now. As you can see, we're just killing the ranger. If there's no hex in the floor, you want to get rid of the mages first because they're going to do the most amount of damage. If you have a plate body bound, then the rangers and the meleeers won't hit you too hard. Last night I was talking to a friend about using ragers because he is a big fan of going and finding ragers. Actually, Lieutenant Dan, if he ends up watching this video, thanks for this comment. He told me that having a Sachem Blood Rager gives a 10% melee defense bonus, which I had no idea. I thought they were just used for offensives against the bosses. It seems to be they hit pretty hard on bosses, which is beneficial. But I didn't realize there was also a 10% melee bonus, which I don't know is true. I haven't wikied it or looked it up or anything, but I believe him when he says it. Here I decide that there's 2 paths, and what I like to do is I like to open both doors before I go so I can just get an idea of what's going on. I guess that's just a keyer thing where you like to know have a good perspective on the floor, because this is turning into my area. As you can see, there's nobody really around me. It turns out that the keyer ends up getting some trust in me and tells me that I'll be responsible for this area of the map, which is a great job on him, knowing that this is the first dungeon we've done together, and he knows that, hey, he can cover a gate. They told me to move the GT, so I come to grab it. Someone says, oh, someone already moved it to a GD, so I telly out. Turns out I tellied back to mine because I thought I could solo it, and I make a pretty big mistake. In the last floor I said that you're going to want to be doing the GDs with your team, and I broke that rule already. I tellied back when I should have immediately came to the GTGD, which would have helped a lot. And again, I telly out thinking, hey, you know what, it's not that hard. I should be able to wrap this up pretty quick. I end up wasting a lot of time in this GD that I didn't have to. And I'm still kind of undecided about the problem too, and it's definitely been told to me that it's better. It feels better when I'm overloaded, but when I'm not overloaded, it feels like the DPS is a little bit faster with the Primal Battle Axe, but I'm not sure. It seems to be concluded that this is the best way to go. The Primal 2-hand is for sure better than the Primal Battle Axe, which is, I guess you can just infer that from the level of boss required to kill it. This is a big mistake. What attack style am I doing on this hobgoblin? I'm slashing it. You have to crush these things. I didn't realize. I just continually hit zeros, and then 4-3-3, and then I hit a 9, and then finally I hit it down. 3 hits. I probably wasted 9 or 10 hits on that single monster, which was just a total waste. Again, with the looting in moderation, I grabbed a couple, not a ridiculous amount. Also, this room here, I wasn't very happy with how I did. Solo GD, not an issue. These are the ones that you definitely don't want to MGT to, because there is no need. If there's one pickaxe floating around the air, you can easily cover that and not lose any time. I noticed that S corner's there, and I have the key for it, but I figured I'd get rid of the immediate danger first, and then I'd open the path. My intention, well, I remember the thought process exactly. It was I was going to gate this door, open it up, and then I was going to run the other path. Spot a salvia, which was a really bad idea. I shouldn't have done that. Notice it's a dead end, but there's an altar. It's like, okay, cool. I'll go get some perp. That's not a bad idea. And then I sit there thinking, what's the fastest way I can get there? So I decided to run in, gate the GD, run all the way back, go to the altar, get some prayer, and then go see what the team's doing. I told him there's an easy GD, and I just moved it. Now that he wants me to move the GT, which is perfect timing. But I noticed I can no longer make a new gate, which is an indication that you're out of cosmic runes. So I run, because before I gated this GD, I had purple corner gated. So I tell them I'm running to open purple corner. I'm not just running away from the GD. And on my way, I happen to find another key door, which is great. There's no problem with that. And as I said before, being familiar with what you're doing and where my area is. So you see, I'm kind of doing the southeast area, while my team was just doing GDs, and I'm not sure how good each person was in this floor. I know the Kier he did a great job. I think Goldfish might have done a little bit better of a job in an SL, but Goldfish was a 120 dunge. I have no way of really comparing them unless I could see something. Unfortunately, I don't have a cosmic runes, as I said, which there's not much you can do at this point because it's just unfortunate. Had I gotten a little bit more money off the start, I would have had a little more cosmic runes, and then I wouldn't have found myself in that situation. Would have saved a couple ticks. I wish I could have, fixed that. But fortunately for me, the GD was like 3 doors to the east. And here you go. I called out 414 before, so 4th to the right there first, and then the 4th one. So hopefully that makes a little more sense now, and everyone can, if everyone's on the same page with it, it shouldn't be an issue. So I run back to the GD that I had. I know this one's for sure worth gating, so I tell them GD gated. I'm on my way to come help. I gate this door real quick. It wasn't worth running to the door to gate, which I usually do. It wasn't worth it in that case. By the GT, they wanted me to move it immediately, so I just immediately moved it over. I doubted the Kier was going to come, so I just took down the shade. It wasn't a big deal. It's level 4. Crush on skeletons, absolutely. As you saw, I was just checking the map. I'm not keen. I'm doing a GD. Why would I be checking the map? Just to get a grasp on what's going on. And then I asked them, has anyone gated the south? Like, does anybody know what that door is? And SiIentRegret ends up saying, I like your hacks. Okay, that's cool. That's not related at all to the floor. Not related at all to what I'm trying to get across. And then the Q tells me to go run, so I can go check it out. So I say I'm gating, and then I mistyped it, obviously, and run down to the gate to see what's going on. I'll get back to that when I end up telling to the key door. So last night, RuneSpan was released. If you guys have tried it out, it's fantastic runecrafting XP. I heard they already nerfed the nodes, and I heard there was a glitch earlier today where my friend who's 65 runecrafting was getting 85k XP an hour. Just ridiculous. I don't know what happened. I only just got on earlier. So I find my Y pen door, and this is interesting. So I open the Y pen, realize it's a dead end, teleport to Y pen, which isn't a big deal because I have a rather high construction level, so opening that door was beneficial. And then you see that somebody tellied directly behind me, so I ran 5 doors south when SiIentRegret had this door gated, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but I asked if anyone had it gated. The Kier said he would check his gate, and he did check his gate, and the other SiIentRegret was worrying about nice hexbow, which I don't blame him. They're great weapons, but you should be kind of focused on the floor, Like, it wouldn't have been that big a deal to just check the gate and then be like, oh, yeah, run the 5 doors. Right? It wouldn't have been that big of a deal. So this is another dead end. I'm asking them to MGT, and this is where a little breakdown happens. I end up thinking I'm the red one because I usually key, so I'm thinking that directly to the east is going to be a door. However, I wasn't the keyer. Ended up at a dead end being like, oh, yeah, right, I'm not keying, so I'm not the red triangle. That's another little thing. If you're wondering about how the colors work out on the map, the keyer is always red. Simple as that. Keyer is always red. I'm not sure the order of the other 4 colors, but you can figure it out if you realize that it's in relation to what number you are in the party. It's the same as when you're going to leave. If you right-click number 2 and you're the second person in the party, then you'll leave. I say GT hex. If you have a hex and you run into a merc door, it's not even a big deal. I don't remember how hard he hits, but he absolutely, yeah, he did really well on this merc. I don't know why they decided to put GT in the merc room. It's better usually not to have it in there so you can tell you out, but there was no real safe doors on any other side of it, so I guess he didn't really have an option. Having some water. I end up gating the door so I can just tell you back in, because I'm hoping what he'll do is he'll move the GGS somewhere useful, but instead he just plants it right in the middle of the room. So I say MGT out, hopefully in that like they'll run to the boss or they'll run into something useful. I'm assuming it's still sitting there, and I know there's a path to the south here, so I go to investigate it. Yep, he found the boss, which is good. So I come over here to see what's going on. It's a 2-way key door. We have none of the keys. But instead of gating, or do I gate it? Nope, I had a gate already, so I'm like, I wonder what my gate is. So I go to check out my gate. It was the merc. Open the merc door, and then continue running the path. Just getting back to RuneSpan. If you guys want to see a video on RuneSpan or haven't figured it out yet, we're still not sure what the best method is, but we were death dotting one island with 2 of the soul S wraiths. We had a stack of us, about 20 people. I was the lowest combat at 136. There was probably 5 or 6 max cape or comp cape players. So I assumed I was doing something right. And we were just death dotted on this island, and we were just we had the S wraiths off spawn, so that you could siphon one and then just quickly switch over and siphon the other. When I was testing it, we were getting about 55k an hour, almost 60k an hour. And the reason we were death dot on one spot was we were testing if the node spawns, and the nodes are great XP. They just randomly spawn throughout the floor, based on how many other ones are up at the time. However, one issue we were finding was because we're on the 3rd floor, all the nodes are being sucked up, and then on the bottom 2 floors where there weren't as many people runecrafting, they were really highly concentrated. So we're thinking if those ones got cleaned up, then there'd be a higher rate of spawn on the upper floors, which would increase XP. So here they tell us that they're almost on the boss, so I can run in, grab the GGS so I can immediately get out. I told the keyer to gate the end, and he did so, which is great. I moved the GGS in, and there's the keyer. So as you can tell, he's very aware of what's going on. As a keyer, he did a great job. We just wrap up a couple things, kill a couple more monsters, and then get the final XP at the end. We got unlucky towards the end. There was a couple GDs to do. It wasn't as bad as the other night. I still have the CSB bounded, as you see, so I can switch over and melee the Forgotten Warrior. It's only level 87, which I don't think is even that advantageous. Like, it's barely even worth the switch. I've run out of prayer at this point, but I have 2 salvials left, and I'm just about to die, but I think I end up saving it. I tried this lure on the Forgotten Warrior, which might seem like a waste, but when you're down to 1 salvial and you know you can serve the entire floor, it's almost worth it. Mage on skeletons also hits very well if you can do it. I asked to MGT assuming it's already gone, but he misclicked, which is unfortunate. Then out I go. Ends up being a GD. No problem. The Hexer will take down the mage. And right here, I screw up and I start attacking the mage when there's a ranger in the other corner. This is what I mean by, he says, get the ranger, because the Hex will destroy the mage, and there's no need to have 3 people on it when 1 person can take it down very easily. He makes a good decision to stay with that door so that he can just open it up quickly. It's good to do that, obviously, to have people assigned to each door. You don't have to do it verbally, just kind of get an idea of what everyone's going to do. The GGS was taken to the end, and thank you for floor. Everyone was on top of their stuff today. So we're going to see the final XP gain. The last video I put out had the most views, which is great, and we're about to hit the 10 subscriber milestone, so congratulations to whoever decides to be that. So it was a 19-minute and 40-second floor, and I'm getting almost 80k XP. So you assume 3 fours per hour, 240k XP per hour, and that's about average of what I was getting last night. So as always, thanks for watching.